Schools, Then and Now by Edna Schoonover. My grandma died when I was 12 years old. She had spent the last 2 winters of her life in our home, and I recall many things she discussed when she was a girl. One of them was the school her father had when she was little. His name was Matthias Markley. He had lived in a log house in Fulton County in the southeastern part of Cass Township on an 80-acre farm. After the fall harvest was done, he would have one room of their house fixed as a schoolroom, with a split log as seats, and slate rock from a nearby creek as material to write on, and a yellow soft stone from the same creek they called keel to use as pencils. This school was for the months of December, January, and February, and the price charged was $1 a term, and for boys only who were near enough to come. Reading, spelling, writing, and arithmetic were taught. As one of his eldest girls, my grandma had a good education for that time, as he taught his girls in the summertime. The school known as the Little Brick School was built a quarter-mile north of where our great-grandfather's house was. When my mother went to school, her parents lived 1.5 miles from the school, and walking was how they got there. All her teachers at that time were men. By the time I was old enough to go to school, the women had taken over the job as teachers, so my only teachers were women. The school I attended was also named for a Mr. Benjamin Howner, who donated the land to build on. This building was one room, with a coal-burning stove near the center of the building for heat. It was light, as there was 7 large windows. The end of the building facing the road that is now Route 95 was taken up by a blackboard made of wood and painted black, and the outside door, this door was far enough from the wall that a shelf could be put there to hold a water bucket and washpan. There was a long-handled dipper in this bucket that all the children drank from. The other end of the building had a shelf to put dinner buckets and a row of hooks to hang our coats on, and we set our overshoes behind our coats. When I started, there were 23 children in the school, with one teacher to teach all grades. School began near the middle of September and lasted for 7 months. Teachers' pay was around $30 a month. The children of all ages were being together brought out some nice times, as the older ones teased and helped the younger ones, and the things said by the kids from the older ones to always remember, such as when the older kids were talking of their birthdays, and 6-year-old Maurice said my birthday's on the 2nd of June. Then there was Billy, who didn't always get all his words pronounced right. Talking about germs, and Mamie, the tease of the school, said, "Billy, I bet you don't know what a germ is." The teacher said, "Billy, tell Mamie what germs are." He said, "They're what you do that make you sick." So the rest of us had a good laugh at Mamie. At noon, we played games such as drop the handkerchief, throw the ball over the schoolhouse called Come Over Andy, and a ball game called Move Up. And as for getting there, we walked 1.5 miles, and when the snow would drop or zero weather, that was no fun. One time, when it was really bad weather, our teacher, Miss Effie Bath of Cuba, was trying to walk 4.5 miles to our school. She stopped in our house to get warm, so Dad took her to school in the sleigh. Our little one-room schoolhouses are now history, and today they are warm rooms for our children. What do I care if my taxes are high? My grandchildren have a comfortable school to go to, namely Spoon River Valley's new buildings, a warm bus to ride in to get them there, and a warm lunch at noon to keep them healthy. When I see our yellow school buses go by loaded with all grades of children, I have a glad feeling that the little grade school darlings of today do not have to walk a mile or more through snow or zero weather to get to their school.